What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 97.
We are so close.
Woo! Yes, it is end of the year. Whew, Monday energy, and my goodness, we're there with you. I'm like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Work
happy
is acting up.
here.
We're doing holiday stuff. Like this is it's the most wonderful time of the year and it's definitely the busiest one.
Yes.
So yeah.
But yes, we're happy to be here with all of you. If you're watching us live, awesome. Join us over in the live chat. If you're watching later, no worries. Comment down below. Let's get into some intros. Hello, I'm Carrie Lane.
And I'm Katie Cullen.
And we're going to talk about some quick anime news. We'll talk about Spy Family and some other recommendations of things you should be checking out. So stick around for all of that. So let's get right into of things we are excited about. So this one, I was like, oh, okay. So there's going to be a new anime coming to Crunchyroll on it's going to be on January 6th. It's going to be exclusively worldwide across 200 territories on Crunchyroll. And it is called Solo Leveling. So some of you may know this title, some of it not. But the things that are exciting about it, it's like, ooh. So it is adapted from the best-selling Korean web novel. And we got some, here's the part where I'm like, Feast for the Eyes. Animation is going to be by A1 Pictures, most notable for Sword Art Online, and motion graphics by Production IG, who does Attack on Titan, Psycho-Pass. So we know it's going to look good.
And we also have a director who's worked on SAO. So
yes.
Yeah, Solo Leveling is going to be very, very pretty. And I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, I think Solo Leveling was on Webtoon. Like, I think it was hosted on Webtoon. And
yes, it was. And Manhwa? I'm not as familiar with
Manhwa,
that. Yeah. And the checking. Yes. And the other thing, too, we are excited for some of the voice actor casts that have been listed. So some of the English voice actors. We have Danny Chambers, who is Becky on Spy Family, who we've interviewed. So be sure to check that out on our interview voice actor playlist. Some other ones, too. We have Soo Wong Cho, and we got Christopher Sabat.
Chris Sabat. Yeah, it's...
Michelle Rojas, Rebecca Wang, Alex Lee, Justin Briner, Ian Sinclair, Kent Williams, to name a few. So, yes, these are all amazing people. So we're very excited to be seeing their names attached to that and looking forward to January 6th.
It is a veritable who's who in that cast.
Yes. So that is an exciting one. So check out Crunchyroll starting January 6th. And looking over in the live chat real quick, we got Giga Derek. Thanks you for tuning in. Greetings from the deep end of the universe.
Please tell me you're floating.
Yeah. Or like in our Spy Family thing, you got your gear for being in the deep end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, your little floaties. Your floaties are good.
Exactly. All right. And then you got some news.
Yes, we have Demon Slayer news because that is always a huge thing for this show. Let's be real. The Hashira Training Arc TV anime premieres in spring 2024 in Japan. We don't have an exact day, but we've got a season, and that is coming up fast. They are also doing a world tour. So we have the season, we have the key visual that's been released, and we have a world tour coming down the line that is going to have screenings. The screenings will have the final climactic episode of the Swordsmith Village arc, as well as the first 1-hour episode of the Hashira Training arc. All of it converted to 4K and music being mixed especially for theaters. So for those who went and saw the last world tour, for those who went and saw those screenings, similar idea. Final episode of the previous arc and brand new episode of the brand new arc. The world tour kicks off in Japan on February 2nd. It's going to hit Tokyo, New York, Seoul, Mexico City, Singapore, Jakarta, Paris, Taipei, London, and Hong Kong, all throughout February. So if you are in any of those cities, or if you are close to any of those cities, the premiere they had in Los Angeles last year was lot of fun.
Yes.
We've got I think we have an Instagram story. We definitely have our YouTube playlist of interviews we did. We had a very good time. So if it's in February, highly recommend attending. It is always a very good time. And just seeing it on the big screen with fans, incredible. Absolutely
Yes.
incredible.
And we cannot confirm, but from the previous event, sometimes they have giveaways, which
Yeah.
is pretty darn cool. Got some souvenirs.
That may happen at the premiere events themselves.
Yes.
The screenings that will later be, hello Fizz, the screenings that will later be hitting theaters,
Yeah.
the wider screenings, probably not going to have giveaways,
Yeah.
etc. Those are the special event.
But that's a unique experience just to see
Indeed.
with fellow anime fans and to see
yeah.
an anime you watch on the big screen. That's
And also
and that show's
getting
gorgeous. So.
and getting to watch the first episode of that season just a little early and remastered on the big screen. Like, let's go.
Absolutely. And that was a great time. You can check out that playlist here on the Fanversation. And also, while you're here, make sure to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. And the other one that we did not show just yet, but you can also check us out over on Twitter at NTATNB. And we'll post like additional photos of things we talk about. Yeah. And then the social media, you can find Fanversation across all social media platforms. I was just kind of laughing because so this is FizzGig, everybody, and she was getting a little flustered if somebody's outside and she has to say, got that underbite going. Yes. But yeah, she's excited. We're excited because the other thing we're excited about is Spy Family.
I keep thinking this is going to be the end of the season. This is going to be the end of the season. No, we have another one next week.
Same. I'm like, what? Oh, okay.
Given that the movie drops in Japan on, I want to say the 22nd. Again, I keep making predictions like, oh, this will be the end of the season. Like, I'm kind of at the point of like, it'll happen sometime. The movie's probably going to be divorced from the season itself.
We did cover that, and it's going to be a standalone. Yeah. But still, all these episodes are like, nope, not that. Nope, still going. Okay.
And I believe the American release for the movie is sometime in January. I don't think we have any further details on that.
Yeah, it was.
And I could be misremembering. It's that kind of month.
I don't think it was specific, as I recall, too. I'm like, I don't think we had full details yet, because it was still a ways out. But yes, this episode was an interesting mix of like, my goodness, this is a really darn cool resort and so many activities, and in technically one day. Because it was, they got off the boat and they got to go back. That was like, damn.
That's not enough time. Snorkeling in and of itself.
Yeah.
I've done snorkeling before, and that's the sort of thing that can be 2-3 hours.
Yes.
Yeah. You can go for, like, at the minimum, 2-3 hours. So you can go trundle around and see everything. Yeah. But snorkeling, horseback riding, spelunking, just everything they did was like, this could have been an all-day activity.
Bike
the zipline was so funny.
The little animals, the farm, the petting zoo kind of area.
The sheepies,
Oh my, no. I'm like, how would you? No, I don't. I'm impressed. I'm all, no wonder they're exhausted.
I mean, I get the little kid energy of
let's do everything.
This is, it's the reason that I like to do late night Disneyland, because once the fireworks are over, most of the families pack up and go home, and then you've got another 3 hours to just tool around and have fun. Mm-hmm. Like, I will show up at noon and stay until park close.
Yeah.
So that's because, that little kid energy of up early, running around like crazy, going nuts. Like, and then Yor didn't sleep. Yeah. Spent all night fighting and then went, all right, we're good.
But it was also really cute, her like fall into his shoulder. Mm-hmm. And I really noticed and really liked the blush he kind of had when he first saw her. And I was like, oh, they're so cute.
Yep.
Our little family coming back together. And it was nice that they could all do a bunch of different activities that, there's a way for everybody to do anything. Because that's the other dynamic with a group of what can everybody participate in and everything kind of had options. I like the bathing suit, like, what do I do?
Yeah. It's like, oh no, it's going to show. Oh wait, no, that one's really covered. I'll just use that one. And Anya it's like, I want to go snorkeling. And then hearing that and going, never mind, I don't want to be eaten by sharks. And then, oh wait, no, we can go. Yeah, no, there's no sharks out there. It's fine.
But or I'll beat them up.
Just Anya covering for Yor this arc has been amazing.
Mhm.
And that is honestly some very quick thinking from a very small child.
Yes, because it's see, wait a minute, I've made a problem. Or even with Lloyd, not a thing of her reading his mind, but she's like, normal dads would be doing this because she knows he's already been thinking like that. So that was adorable that she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, they would be doing this. It's like, oh, okay.
Just Lloyd skipping. Like, bro, why are you taking advice from your 5-year-old?
Yeah.
Sir.
How many brain cells in the group? Not many.
One, and they're playing ping pong with it.
Yes.
One, and it's sleep deprived.
That too. Yeah, I thought that was really cute. I felt they kind of really captured that like vacation vibe and what that's like of getting off a boat and picking activities. Though any of you have been on a cruise or not, you pretty much only get time for 1 or 2 of those kind of things if you really are doing them. Maybe 3 if you're lucky, but I still thought it was really fun montage and adorable, and like I'm glad they got some time all together and everything, and which led us then to Becky at school.
Oh man,
I get it. You want to impress your friends, but girl, sweetie,
I do appreciate like every time it comes into an imagined scenario, they did that. I was calling it sepia tone. It's not quite sepia tone, but it is a specific washed out filter over the footage. So watching this with my roommate and going, oh, it went sepia tone. I bet you it's not real. And she's like, are you sure? And then 10 seconds later, oh yeah, no, it's not real. And so pointing it out every time it happened, like, okay, no, I got this.
Yeah,
I do love that they used that though. That was fun.
Yeah. Wait, are we talking when Anya's at school or with
all of them? Anya's fantasy about being at school and being so lauded because she went on a cruise.
Yeah, that was, bless her heart of, yeah, sweetie, you're at a really rich school that's probably like, no big deal.
Like, it's wild for you, but man, these kids.
At least Becky handled it well, and Becky even also like even had the who is she now? But I'm gonna go with it. And she's like, maybe next time it's okay, and let's keep things in check. And I thought that was pretty adorable. But I liked our pseudo love interest of like, well, she's never boring.
Yeah, it's like she's never boring to watch. Like kids, children.
Yes.
And Becky having the big party with the soap opera stars. All right. Okay, sweetie.
These kids live in a whole other universe than Anya, so it's like,
oh my God, yeah.
Speaking of someone who's in a completely different universe, yours brother. Oh my gosh, I'm like, his locker.
Well, God, his locker.
Now.
Like, I get that this is the joke, but man. I think that's the only joke that I really get tired of.
I'm
Yuri's
so over
sister complex.
Yeah.
And I know that's the whole big thing, and that's what we're leaning on. And I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah. God, yikes. Just like that. That's the only one where I'm like, are we done? Are we done yet? Are we done? Usually you're pretty funny when you're on screen, except for when you just lean so far into that curve you're horizontal. Like,
because it's in the very tiny sprinkle of doses, it has been amusing at times.
Yeah.
But this is definitely the like getting in that yikes category real fast.
So like I like when we get the flashbacks of them as kids, like the little 2-minute scene we had a little while ago with him having a cold and her trying to get things sorted. Like that I like. I like seeing the flashbacks. I like seeing how wild they've been the entire time.
Yeah.
Just the current, I'll treasure it forever. I mean, their snacks, they'll go bad. I'll take a picture and I'll treasure it forever. Oh my God, bruh. Stop.
Or his lie too, that he's not going to tell her what he really is for her or something. That was like,
I think that's just him not saying he's in the secret police.
I felt it was that, and it's the like how he's in love with her. But maybe, yeah.
I read that as secret police because we had all 3 adults kind of hiding their identities at this table.
I love the line's bad, but all of us are doing that.
I really did love the advice from Lloyd about, all right, you got to make a persona, you make it convincing, you start sprinkling in the truth, and then Yuri going, yes, liars are the scum of the earth, and the only reason is to protect. And we don't even have to get into yours. It's just, yeah. And Anya deciding, I'm not going to lie anymore. It's just too much trouble. It's too hard.
Which is good job, kid. Be like, no, don't.
Sure. But just.
Oh, and the other moment too I loved in that bit of them when they come home was Bond. Like, you've returned.
Yes. Bond just like, hello. Handing
adorable.
Frankie souvenirs. You're buying the skeleton for her co-worker. I called that while it was happening, and I'm still so very happy it happened that way because it was perfect.
I guess the right crowd is funny. It is. I still think it's a weird choice to be on a boat. But again, we went with the pirate theme. Yes. But then that is like giving somebody a skeleton keychain and you're not in the spooky realm of things you like. Like, we talk enough about things that I'm like, absolutely. Be like, I got you a skeleton thing. Awesome. Great. I have lots of skeleton things here. I would be the perfect recipient. But her
and I'd be over here going, I'm naming him Murray because I will never let that reference go.
Yeah. I do appreciate that her coworkers are like, well, I guess from you that does make sense.
Yeah. It's like, well, wine would have been better. And I'm like, who the fuck goes on a cruise and brings their coworker back wine?
No.
That's
weird.
Why are you expecting her to spend the money on wine for you?
Yeah.
This $2 chuck is not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't think this was the sort of, and again, based on historical rather than it's fictional based on historical, but like,
yeah,
I didn't really think you could get very good $2 chuck. Wine is still kind of an investment. Like, you bring your coworkers wine?
Yeah, that one's a weird one.
Yeah,
the thing and then anytime buying souvenirs, if you're buying a lot for a lot of people, you're buying small little things. But I guess like candies or chocolates is the easy one. Like they did say a consumable good, but
yeah,
I'm sorry if you're just my coworker, we're not really friends. I'm not buying. Why am I bringing you a souvenir?
Exactly.
The only time I've done that is like family and friends, or like situations where I know I'll be seeing someone soon and it's their birthday. So I'm like, perfect, I'll get the thing. Alcohol, I did buy tequila, because I did a tequila tasting in Mexico, and like, oh, okay, well then that was an experience I brought back. But it's never like, well, since I'm going, this is the kind of souvenir I shall bring with me back. Like, what? Yeah, her coworkers are. I'm glad they let it slide that she's weird. Like they're not really getting into it too much. They're just like, you're just odd.
But that's part of why she got married, because it's like, I need that cover, and I also know that I'm weird. So it's like, it's just.
And that's why they're all perfect for each other, because they're all weird together. We got Lloyd with his boss chatting it up and like planning, but still having, some relaxation time.
Because no one ever figured out what happened to the bomber. And it's like, you threw a bomb on his head and he fell into shark-infested waters, which is hysterical, especially since we followed it up with, there's no sharks here. Like, all right.
I totally momentarily forgot that when I was watching it, but they are there.
I forgot that too until I was in the middle of saying it. Like, oh.
Maybe they're just in the deeper area. They're not as close to shore.
Comedy anime. It
works. It makes sense. Yes.
So just the assessment of, I don't know if he's clever or clumsy. Like, here's the thing.
Bold.
He's a protagonist in an action comedy. It's the comedy part that makes things interesting. But him walking away going, I don't want to go on another vacation. It was more nerve-wracking than half the missions you send me on. Like, didn't we have an episode last season where you were overworked and needed to spend time with your family to keep up the facade? And even then you wound up working? Like,
he's a workaholic.
Dude.
Yeah. You can't really separate that. He's like,
yeah. I mean, his entire daily life is a work thing. So
Oh, since we did the announcement, but interesting question from the chat. No Laura, and sorry if I mispronounced that, says, are you guys more excited for the Spy Family movie or the Demon Slayer season 4 movie next year?
The season 4 movie?
I'm a movie? Or
I'm
you
gonna
mean
say
like,
from the press
or do you
release,
mean
they
the
said it was
movie where it's like the episodes together and we're
yeah,
counting that as a
yeah.
movie?
Um,
We'll
the
go
Spy
with that
Family
unless.
movie, definitely. I'm excited for both, but the
Mm-hmm.
Spy Family movie being its own thing, being new
Yes.
content,
Mm-hmm.
and the Demon Slayer movie, I do love when they remaster that stuff. I did love, like, when we went, the theater that we were in was not, the speakers themselves weren't set up for surround sound, and it still sounded good.
Yeah.
So seeing that in an actual theater with that Dolby setup, like, I I used to work in post production, and we had a Dolby room with all of the speakers everywhere and an engineer
Ooh.
working it and making sure that everything was correctly balanced. So, like, it's not just flip a switch, it's there are people who make sure that everything is correctly balanced and that the sound is where it's supposed to be across all those speakers. So yeah, getting to hear something in theater sound or surround sound when it is engineered for it is incredible. And that is what they're doing with Demon Slayer. So it is just a great experience to see it in theater. I will almost always be more excited for more new content. Like if we were getting another Mugen Train where it was another brand new let's go, yes. But knowing that even if I miss the theater showings for Demon Slayer, it's still going to be like the first hour of the next season. We'll still be there. We'll still get to see it. I am more excited for the Spy Family movie.
That's fair. The only thing I wish they would do that they kind of have, but not exactly, is if there are scenes that are added from that are in the movie that weren't in the show or something like that for when they do the movie thing. I'm like, can we have that separate just to know what I missed? Like, I don't necessarily need to go back and watch it all to be like, what parts were not in there? Because we did notice that with Mugen Train, like the very beginning had some, like a couple scenes that wasn't in the series. And that was entertaining. Did you need them? No, but was it awesome? Yeah. Visually, I'm very excited for Demon Slayer, but I'm with you on the fact that it's technically either it's the end of what we've seen and it's going to be what we're going to see. But seeing that in theaters with that screening was just so exciting and so fun with fans. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
But Spy Family, yeah, since it is more of a standalone, I am excited in that way because then I can have friends that haven't watched Spy Family yet. I'll be like, so
here's your introduction.
Here's how you can come into this and enjoy it. And so, yeah. And then maybe get other people into the show. Because I was actually just talking with people the other day that, like, they were so excited, a different series, but so excited by One Piece, the live action. They've started watching the anime now because they're like,
oh,
okay,
yeah.
I like this so much. I want more of it. So, yeah, if it's anything that gets other new people into, I'm always excited for that as well.
Yeah, good old One Piece Kai, basically.
Leave us your comment of which one you are more excited about.
Exactly, yes. And this is us judging on content, as it were, those very specific metrics for the both of us. Whatever you're more excited for, whatever reason you're more excited for that version, for that movie.
I mean,
valid.
visually, probably
Valid.
Demon Slayer might be more visually very exciting to see in the movie theater.
It will be.
That one, I'm like, it's just so pretty. It's just so much going on. But content-wise, since Spy Family is going to be new stuff, that might be more interesting and engaging in comparison. But
the action versus the action comedy.
Also very different vibes. Super different vibes.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, or, you could just do a double feature,
if they're out at the same time.
I was like, yeah.
That's one of those, if they're out at the same time, if they're at the same theater, if the show times work out. It's not like when we were going, we're going to do a double feature of Saw 10 and Five Nights at Freddy's back when they were supposed to drop on the same day. It's like, yeah, you can roll up to your local AMC and have plenty of showings of both. That's not always the case for things like this.
Totally.
But yeah, should be fun.
Was there anything else in the episode that we didn't cover that stood out to you? I was like,
just kind of, for me, I noticed that the resort episode was definitely one of those we used all the budget on the fight last episode.
Yes, we get our
Yeah.
pause freeze frame montage.
The freeze frame, the long camera pan around
Yeah.
the 3D model of the ship, which I know also
was
takes
weird.
time and doing. They're filling time.
I didn't mind the going up the ship, but as Lloyd was walking to that ship and the way the camera angle was, I'm like, is the ship gonna blow up? Like,
Oh,
it
that's
was
not the one I
making me
was
nervous.
talking about. Like the one where
Okay.
it's just the ship and it like starts at the stern
that's-
and goes all the way around. Just
But you know the
that's a
shot I'm
long
talking
camera panel of
about?
a 3D model. Yes, where they just had
didn't
the
like that
cutout of
shot.
Lloyd
Yeah.
moving up and down, and they zoomed in on
It
the
looked
ship.
weird, and then it made me really concerned that something was going to happen. And I'm like, I don't know, that we could still blow up the ship. Or
It's
like,
just filling time
and then it was fine.
and an
Yes.
animation trick because again they
Yes.
used all the budget on the fight, which
Yeah.
again is not a bad thing. You put the Sakuga where the Sakuga needs to be,
Yes.
and you make up for it elsewhere. So
Yeah.
in that particular episode, it was like, okay, you can kind of tell where they were making up for it. That doesn't mean it was bad. That
Yeah.
just means if you know enough about how animation as a process works and budgeting and what they do and what they borrow from in order to put more elsewhere, like you can kind of start seeing things. That doesn't make it bad by any stretch of the imagination. It just makes you as the viewer a little more aware of the process.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can tell when an anime has none budget with left beef. Sometimes you can just really tell when the budget was never there to begin with. That's not the case for Spy Family, but there are some out there where it's like, so it's a slideshow. Violinist of Hamelin is what comes to mind for me. That was rough.
I don't think I saw that one. I'm like,
don't.
Okay.
Read the manga.
Okay.
Even the manga's a little weird, but the adaptation commits just about every sin you can in an adaptation, budget notwithstanding.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, it's if anyone's ever seen it, I'm sorry. And also don't watch it. Violinist of Hamelin.
Of Hamelin. Okay.
It's fun. It's weird. It's very quirky. I really do enjoy the manga. It's been like a decade since I've read it, so I do need to go back to it. But it's one of those like, this is a fun, weird story, and I'm enjoying this fun, weird story. And the anime is like, what if we just make it really sad, like all the time, and we mix up the character beats so they make no sense where they hit, and then we give it just a really stupid ending for no reason. I'm like, oh, you did okay, yikes. So again, it had no budget either.
Okay.
So, the budget is not what made it a rough watch.
Well, this was that I put on our tangent corner because this made me think of I saw a really funny meme, and then this will lead us to our next section of things we could recommend for you. Jujutsu Kaisen, there was a meme that was like a very buff, masculine shoulders and chest, and like a stick figurehead putting their face into the pecs of this body, and it's like Mappa. And Mappa's like Jujutsu Kaisen men. So they've like pumped up all the guys even more. Like they're still fit in the manga, but like they got pec boobies going on of like plump. And I hadn't thought about it, but seeing it compared to like what the manga looks like, I was like, yeah, they kind of do. They look good. But that is funny to know that was the animation studio goes, you know what we can do? We can make
them Mappa.
Yeah.
Mappa do what Mappa wants sometimes.
Yes, which leads us to things you should check out. Still, I'm not totally up to date with JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen, but it is a gorgeous show. It's really good. It is one that you have to have been watching because there's just levels and layers and things. But this is maybe a show that might be more enjoyable for some people after a bunch of episodes have been out, because sometimes the gaps between them, I've had my moments where, who is that again? And what did they do? How did they?
Do I know you? Have we met?
Yes, which we've had that on some shows where we're like, no, they just show them to us. But no, this show, like, it's still really entertaining. But another one that I just started and I'm a couple episodes in, really digging, is or I heard good things. I was like, I'll check it out. Is Blue Eyed Samurai, and that one's really kind of cool, different animation a little bit, and content rating warning of there's lots of blood, guts, and gore, which you would think from samurai stuff, but there's also a lot of nudity, which not a problem, but it's depends what age group and family members or friends you're watching this with, that might be weird. Because it is like, that's a wiener, that's a lot of wieners, and like those are boobies and stuff like that, where
Thanks for days.
Yes. And it makes sense within the story, but it is one of those, like, we get to that right away. So it's just amusing in a way. But so far, it's a really engaging show. I had a lot of different friends talking about it, and I was like, all right, let me check it out. Visually, really cool and interesting, and we'll see how it all wraps up. But so far, I'm liking the journey of it. But yeah, I'd say that's the main things I watched anime-wise. And then I did catch, finally, Black Adam and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Black Adam was all right. I'm just glad I watched it at home. No offense to anybody. I was like, it was entertaining enough at home. There were things, but and Shazam, the second one, was just fun. That's what I wanted, like entertaining, like cool looking, and it delivered on that. Of like, yes, I was entertained. So yes, there are those movies where you're like, I'm not expecting much. Just, was it fun? Yes, done. Box checked. Good to go.
Nice.
And what about you?
Once again, I have done nothing new. Life is extremely busy, and now that we are finished with the main narrative of Marvel's Spider-Man 2, we are making our way through all of these side narratives and side content until we have to give the PS5 back at some point, like next week.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's putting in as much of that as we possibly can, and my self-same YouTube channel. So it just continues to be a vibe. We have fun here. I think this is the point where I turn around and say, everyone should be reading Discworld. I know I've recommended it like 5 times already. It's going to be another 5 at least, because it's on my mind. For those looking for those going, what? It's like, hi! It's been a minute since I've recommended this. We might have some new people in chat. Hello, I love you. Discworld is a novel series by the late, great Sir Terry Pratchett. It is a satire series taking place on a magical world that is a flat disk of Earth riding on the back of 4 elephants riding on the back of the great Atuine the tortoise as she swims through space. It's wild. It is some of the best satire I have ever read in my life, because every book is a story. It's not just, we're making fun of things to make fun of things. We have fantastic narratives woven together. We have frankly incredible characters that I don't think anyone else is able to imitate. Like, no one does it like Terry Pratchett. He's incredible. And we have narratives weaving together, very, very vibrant, well fleshed out world building, and different narrative series within the world. So if you're more of a whodunit, crime, murder mystery sort of person, you want the Watch series, which are kind of police procedurals, and all take place in the city. If you are more of a literature, drama, art person, you want the Witches series, which are all of them takeoffs on some form of fiction. I started with the one talking about vampires. I don't recommend that as a jumping on point. I recommend the one that's a full-on takeoff of Macbeth as the jumping on point, The Weird Sisters. It's very fun. But that is the series where they talk about fairy tales and the nature of stories. There's a full Phantom of the Opera send up at one point. Like, the witches are very fun. If you are into higher concept, larger workings of the world, you want the Death series, which is where some of my favorites are. And Death is a character who shows up in every book. He is an anthropomorphic personification of the concept of death. Doesn't quite understand humans, but is like really interested in the stuff they make and the trappings of their culture. And he's trying to learn, and it's one of those, not quite there, but he's got the spirit of it, like that sort of thing. The Death books deal with a lot of higher concept stuff, faith, time. My favorite book in all of Discworld is Reaper Man. It is a Death book. Do not start with Reaper Man. Get a few other ones under your belt first. Like, it's great, but it's one of those where it's more powerful if you're familiar.
Mm.
My recommended jumping on point is Going Postal, which it's the Moist von Lipwig series. It's about government institutions. It's late enough that Sir Terry had really hit his stride and really knew all of his characters and his world building, but it is a starting point and it introduces you to a few of the characters that you see a lot. The reason I'm bringing this up now is that one of the books in the Death series is called The Hogfather, and it is the holiday book. It's the one that deals with faith and the power of belief and what that means to humanity. And it's also very much a Christmas book and does some very solid send-ups of Christmas traditions where you don't really think about it like that until he brings it up and you're like, oh yeah, a Little Match Girl kind of is a messed up story, isn't it? So if you want to do something seasonally appropriate, read Hogfather. You can just kind of step into that one and just go with it. If you want a different starting on point, pick up Going Postal. Either way, it is Discworld by Sir Terry Pratchett. It will enrich your life. Read them. There is a movie adaptation of Hogfather that is very good, and I'm trying to remember who provided the voice of Death for that special. And my brain is handing me Christopher Lee, and I don't think that's accurate. But it is someone with similar gravitas. Like, yeah, if you'd rather watch a movie, there is a live action adaptation of Hogfather that is very, very good. I am a read that book once a year sort of person, and it is that time of year, so it's on my mind.
Nice. I was looking over the chat too. We got John Knight says, hello, ladies. Hello.
Hello.
And then, yesterday was Kaylee Mill's birthday, and she's the voice of Alice in Sword Art Online Alicization. She is delightful. We have interviewed her on this channel, and I'm pretty sure, which that you can find on my channel, which let's get into that of where people can find us. Wait, where'd it go? There it goes. Yes. Katie, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias, as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. I am also a co-host on a horror channel called Silver Screams on YouTube, where we talk about horror stuff, do reaction videos. It's very fun. We have a good time.
All right. Yeah. And y'all can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE across all social media platforms. I do have a YouTube channel too, and on that, I did cover Sword Art Online Alicization and interviewed many members of the English voice cast. So if you're interested in that, you should go check that out. And if you're interested in voice actors in general, also you should check out our playlist here on Fanversation. Yes, across the platforms, there's different things. So stay up to date. And then you can also follow us on the NTATNB over on Twitter. And that's where, if we're able, we'll be posting like extra photos of things that we've talked about. But here on Fanversation or our personal ones is the best way to stay in touch. And now we're going into holiday season, so our schedule is going to be a bit different / taking a break for holidays and travel and things. So stick around. We're not going away because obviously we got 100 coming up.
Yeah.
Mark your calendars. That'll be in January. We need to double check what date that will be specifically, but get ready to write that down because we possibly are going to try to bring more guests on for that for a special episode. So
we're going to try and do some fun stuff. We will see when we get there.
Yes. So thank you everybody for tuning in this evening, or if you're watching this later, whenever you're watching, thank you for watching and joining us, and have a safe, happy holiday season.
Happy Hanukkah for those who are celebrating.
And stay in touch. We will post things for any kind of announcements, and yes, we love you all, and also early Happy New Year. We're almost there.
So close. So close.
Well, we have a good time here, and I hope you do too, and we will see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.